What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Cap Sports. Thank you for joining us. We hope everybody had a great Christmas and New Year holiday break. I know we all did. There was a lot of football that was played, not quite to the extent of how everybody thought it was going to go. But with me, as always, we got Preston.
What's up, y'all?
We got KJ joining us.
Ladies and gentlemen.
And yeah, guys, so the first round of the playoffs were crap.
Yeah, not much entertainment to be had there. Pretty much every game was a blowout, right?
Every first round game was.
Yeah, every first round game was a blowout. I think every team that won was what we expected. Yes. Probably the nation for the most part, except for the other fan bases, was who we expected to win those games.
Yes. Yeah, out of the picks that we did prior to the playoffs starting, I got all of them right except for Tennessee and Ohio State, and I think that was the most lopsided win.
So I had Texas winning, I had Ohio State winning, I had Penn State winning, I had Notre Dame winning. So I was 4 for 4.
Clean sweep first round.
Yeah.
Oh, we're talking about the first round.
Yeah, first round.
How'd your first round go?
I'm clean across the board, bro.
Yes, sir.
All the way to
we
it.
know our game.
I think the only game that people could have had something to say about would have been maybe Tennessee. They were the only team in that first round.
That was
that
a very
had a chance to possibly do anything.
That
big.
was surprising.
So disappointed.
Yeah, I did not expect that level of a butt whooping to happen.
I agree, but once we get into the deeper into the show and start talking about the next round, I mean, now it makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah,
definitely,
100%.
But at the time, before we saw how Ohio State would perform in the next round, I don't think anybody in the nation thought that Ohio State was.
I mean, there was a lot of people, especially on this side of the country. There was a lot of people that really thought Tennessee
had a chance.
Not just was going to win that game, but they had a chance to win it all.
Yeah. I don't quite feel that I thought that they would win it all, but I ultimately, again, I thought that Ohio State would win, but I thought it'd be a close game, and probably really internally, I thought that Tennessee would have a chance.
Yeah, I believe that Tennessee had the makings and a team that if anybody in that first round was going to surprise you, Tennessee was the team that was going to make the run.
Yeah.
Outside of your Vegas favorites, who kudos to Vegas.
That's why they make all the
racking them up. Yeah, because the way Tennessee fans traveled to that game, it's not a long trip from Knoxville to Columbus, but what they have?
They took the stadium
10, 15,000 probably.
Yeah. I mean, they somewhat took the stadium over. I heard that, Ohio State was pretty much overlooking them and looking forward to the Rose Bowl against Oregon. Yeah. I understand why. But, coming into that game, Tennessee traveled well. I don't know how Ohio State overlooked them like that coming into it. Boy,
they just stepped right over them.
I was about to say, they sure played like it. They should have overlooked
What's bad, though, too, and it was a bad look after the fact, but, Tennessee, all their linemen came out. They were shirtless. They had the little beanie boggins on with the face mask.
Showing how tough they are in the cold. Yeah.
You want to talk about the slop bodies that they rolled out there to show intimidation? We're not scared. It's like, dude, you've been hibernating for 3 years with that body you got going on right now. That was a tough look. Most of the time you see guys come out there, a lot of NFL players do it. They'll come out there shirtless in cold environments, and they're all just dadgum yoked up, not an ounce of fat on them. And you got Tennessee guys out there with worse than dad bods, showing how tough they are, and just for them to get railroaded.
They definitely brought off the offensive lineman for that sequence of events there.
Just a bad look. Yeah.
They got cold early. They never warmed up.
That probably hurt.
They got cold when they stepped off the plane, and that was it.
Do you blame them? No. I mean, when it's supposed to snow.
Yeah, Colton
this is a bad
guaranteed us snow games for every game.
Every single game.
And I didn't see a snowflake until the end of the Notre Dame Indiana game.
Penn State was
I was pissed.
I was too.
Colton's 2 feet of snow.
White all around, except for where they pulled the tarp off.
He also guaranteed us a whiteout game with the whiteout jerseys.
We talked about it.
I thought
but they did the whiteout in the Big Ten championship game.
Yeah, I thought that was their plan. Was they were bringing it home.
Yeah. Didn't happen. I was very disappointed.
That was a tough look for your boy. I was like, there's going to be snow in every first round playoff game.
Freaking meteorologist Albright over here.
Might not have been snow.
Well, I fit in with
cold everywhere.
Yeah,
I fit in with most meteorologists around here.
Yeah.
So the first round games obviously was a big disappointment. As much hype as they had, But in the second round games, not much changed, I guess, from the first round. Outside of one game, you had Notre Dame. So Notre Dame handled Georgia pretty well. It was over within the first half.
I mean, to be honest with you, I didn't think so. I think that I'll be honest with you. I think that walk-on, when that play happened, not even trying to like hate on that guy, when that play
His name's
happened,
Parker Jones.
it took a lot of momentum away from Georgia.
Really?
What would that have been? They'd have been on like the 13-yard
They
line,
were at red zone.
and then got a 15-yard penalty for absolutely nothing. But this dude making
The
a
ref
wild
should have stayed
catch.
out of his way, is all I got to say.
So we're not going to jump, but the same thing happened in the Alabama-Michigan game, which was BS, and we'll talk about that
But
later on.
I think that changed a lot of the game. Now it definitely doesn't help.
I mean, they're already up 2 scores at that point.
Who?
Notre Dame.
No,
That was early.
No,
Yes, they were.
No,
Yes, they were.
this happened in the first half.
I know, and they were up. Yeah, Notre Dame was up 20 to whatever, 20 to.
No, that they
3.
ran the kickoff back in the third quarter.
Okay, so then they were up.
There's an opening kickoff.
So they were up 13 to 3.
Yeah.
So
And
two scores when that happened. Then
I mean, it would have made it what 13 to 10.
But that's a lot of momentum sucked out for sure. Notre Dame bullied Georgia, which basically we don't really consider Texas a SEC team yet.
I do.
So Georgia, that was really the SEC's last hope.
How many
to
stupid things
show
do you
up and
have to
fight.
say?
I got more.
Okay.
Penn
We had the
State.
battle of the Big 12.
Penn State
Yep.
handled Boise State. Sucks for Ashton Genty. They tried to get him.
Yeah.
They tried to get one, and we talked about it in our group. He's like, Ashton's going to get him one. Ashton's going to get him one, and his one was like a 12-yard run.
I'd like to say
Oh, yeah,
something.
like a 30-something. Right?
Shut up.
I did not give credit to Boise State's team, and their offense might not have performed. I expected Penn State to shut Ashton Genty down, and it wasn't because he couldn't perform. It's because I expected their focus to be on him.
Mm-hmm.
Boise State belonged on that football field.
Yeah.
I don't care what the final score was. I said it when it was, a 7-point game?
Yep.
Yeah.
Boise State belonged on that football field against Penn State, a good Penn State.
Yeah.
Penn State went away from the run. I don't know why. I don't know if it was overthinking. I don't know if they drew up all these plays, and they were like, well, we got to run them.
Let's try it out.
I don't know why you don't hand that football off 70 times that football
You got
game.
two
Yeah.
stud
Yeah,
running
You're
backs.
running all over. That
Yeah,
wouldn't
they were
even been-
running. They were running all over Boise State.
They were, but Boise State belonged on that football
Yeah, I
field
agree.
from what I watched, and I was wrong. I said that in our group chat. I believe
He did.
Boise belonged on that football
Yeah.
field. I
Yeah.
didn't care what the final score was.
Yeah. The seeding, or like their ranking, like it probably didn't help them. They probably needed that warm-up game in the first round.
I think Boise State. I don't believe they should have been a bye.
Yeah, that's tough, and we'll talk about that more in a second. Ohio State absolutely throttles the undefeated
Oregon. Yeah.
the Quackers.
A moment ago we were talking about Ohio State and Tennessee and how that was probably the most, at the time, unexpected
Yes.
whooping that any of us could have thought out.
They doubled down.
And spot on. They doubled down. No one with the nail biter exciting game between those two teams earlier in the year that occurred. Nobody thought what happened was going to happen. I mean, after Ohio State lost to Michigan, I mean, there's talk of whether or not
There
they
was
should
a
be in.
lot of people.
Should they be in? They've
I
proved
think
it.
us included.
I think for a lot of people, I think that Michigan game was that Michigan and Oregon game are the only two games that they've watched all year for Ohio State.
Yeah.
And I think they seen them get beat in a good game against Oregon and then get absolutely shut down against Michigan. And I think a lot of people threw Ohio State to the side, said they can't do it. Ohio State has the most expensive, the best, and by far the most athletic roster in the country, and it's not close.
No, it's not, unfortunately.
And for them, it's not surprising now if this would have been going on from the beginning of the year. We all would have said, yeah, we see this.
Yeah. I mean, but we've all made, not just us, everybody in this country that watches college football, it came down to the level of talent that they've played against. And, we've all hung our hat on the SEC. Clearly that hasn't meant crap. We're big SEC homers. Clearly the SEC is not what it used to be. I don't necessarily hang my hat on it being due to NIL, and schools being able to pay more. I think there's just so much available talent
I agree.
that it can be more spread out.
The SEC this year reminded me of the Big 12 every year.
Yeah.
They beat up on each other.
They look great regular season.
Every year, everybody beats up on everybody from bottom to top. It didn't matter.
One out.
And this year, our top performed like a normal Big 12 top performs when they play real competition.
Yeah. Yeah, it was disappointing, but I mean, maybe it's good for college football,
Spread out the wealth a little bit.
For
Sucks
SEC,
for Bama fans.
I mean, I'd like to think so, boy,
it's been
but
sucking for the Bama fans since week 6.
as much SEC hate has went on all year, and then ever since, I mean, we had the last 4 national champions?
Prior to this past season, because Michigan won.
Yeah. Outside of the one time.
Yeah.
Who you got? What? It goes all the way back to Clemson?
I think so,
Yeah, Clemson's won a couple in
Goes
the 2010s.
from Bama, Georgia, LSU.
Yeah.
And then it rolls all the way
It was like
back to
Bama, Clemson. Yeah, it was Bama, Clemson.
Back and forth.
Back and forth
Yeah.
for 5 years.
Yeah.
And then, LSU got one in 2020.
I think this transfer portal and this NIL is spreading this talent around.
Yep.
And I think I don't think you're going to see another Nick Saban.
No.
Kirby Smart was the closest we had to it. It sucks that they went out without their starting quarterback out there. But even then,
Well, he played well. I thought Gunnar
he
Stockton
did.
played. Yeah, I thought he played
Georgia's
really
the
well.
next guy up mentality.
Yeah.
You can be they didn't lose. A Cam
Because
Newton.
of him.
I don't think. That's exactly what I was saying. I don't
you talking about Gunnar Stockton?
Yeah, I don't think.
I think Gunnar Stockton played.
I think he played better than Carson Beck.
He
do
wasn't
too.
why they didn't win.
Yeah.
No.
Etienne. He had 2 fumbles.
Oh yeah.
I know he had-
More drop passes
Yeah,
for the
yeah.
receivers, which has been a constant issue all season long. And
That
the
ball-
reporters during the game were killing. I think it was Greg McElroy and whoever his guy is. They were destroying Georgia
That
receivers.
60-yard pass late in the game that come all the way down. It was on the 35. Man was wide open when he threw that down, and it was it a 23-13 game or something?
We're still
like
right
that?
there, yeah.
When he threw that pass down, they went down to score, but when he dropped that pass, that was the biggest gut punch.
Yeah, that was a nail in the coffin.
Wide open. That was tough, man.
Yeah, so we're going to go back to Ohio State and Oregon. So Jeremiah Smith is
Can't be stopped.
Julio Jones reincarnated.
Nah, he's better.
Yeah,
He's a freak.
he really actually
Dude's
might
fun
be
to
better.
watch.
He really might.
I mean,
be
the
better.
people he's getting compared to, Megatron.
That's a good comparison.
I mean, he's getting
He's probably
compared.
a combo between those two.
He's getting compared to all three between Terrell Owens, Megatron, and Julio Jones. I mean, Ryan Williams is a great wide receiver. Don't get me
But
wrong. That's all we've talked about all year.
Yeah.
Jeremiah Smith is a freak.
Just looking at just picturing in my head them two side by side, you would think Jeremiah Smith has been in the league for 4 years.
Well,
And Ryan Williams looks like he's fresh out of high school.
I mean, he'd be number 1 draft pick this year.
Granted,
Oh, yeah,
granted,
He's 17. Yes, we know.
No.
We know.
if we had a quarterback that can make those freaking throws,
I don't think there's anything that could change the fact between them two. Ryan Williams is a hell of an athlete,
Yeah.
great ball player.
Still 17.
Jeremiah Smith is gonna be the number 1 pick in the
He's a
draft.
top 5 pick,
whatever
yeah.
year.
you've been watching Dan Orlovsky.
I don't even know who that is
Yeah,
personally.
he was talking about this.
He
Yeah, he
will
was,
be the number 1 draft pick. Whatever year he comes out, I don't care. He's going number 1.
I don't even know who that is.
That's hilarious.
Dude's a freak.
No, he is. He's so much fun to watch. And I'm rooting for Ohio State.
Did y'all see what he said? What he said before that Oregon game? Talking about one-on-one, he can't be stopped.
Shit.
And then he goes out
Let me get in
does
front
that?
of him. I'm gonna freaking.
and can't stop.
He's getting the ear hole. Yeah,
I'm getting a
tripping
15
him.
yard from tripping.
Good luck catching him.
I'm,
Good luck
no,
catching
I'm,
for the
no,
ear hole.
I'm face to face with him on the line. He's getting a freaking elbow to the ear hole, and I'm tripping him up. And I'm
Got a helmet on.
I was about to say, it's going to hurt you, bud.
I don't give a. I said elbow. Y'all clearly didn't play football. I'm
To the
fighting.
ear hole?
To the ear hole, he's wearing a helmet.
Okay, well, clearly y'all haven't played football, and clearly y'all haven't been in a fist fight in football. It still hurts.
I mean, not in a helmet.
I'm confused
does-
about what you're trying to say here.
Then I'm knocking his ass out. Is what I'm saying.
You got to catch him first.
Well,
I'm just 1 yard away from him. I'm in his face to start before the
I'm
ball
pretty sure
snap.
Oregon tried that, and he just gone.
I'm saying I'm intentionally hurting this mofo.
Well,
I would never do that.
I think you'd hurt yourself trying to hurt him.
Y'all are talking about trying to stop him a while.
So yeah, Ohio State's a wagon. I don't see anybody beating them. We're going to talk about the most exciting quarterfinal game, hands down, was Texas and Arizona State.
Yes, that was actually a great game.
Texas jumped out early. They
Cruise.
They were jumping out. They, like you said, put on cruise control. They were already looking ahead to that next round game.
A 2-play, 75-yard drive. I say drive, but 2 plays, 75 yards for the score.
Yeah.
Stop on the next defensive possession.
Scoring again.
And then a punt return.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, the game was it wasn't a close game until the last
6 minutes.
They didn't score a touchdown again until what? The 4th?
Yeah.
But I mean, still, they were so far ahead. With 5-6 minutes left in the game, and then Arizona State made some huge plays.
Well, hold on. We're about to give KJ his spotlight because he kind of introduced Bo Scadaboo to us. I think the week of the Big 12 championship.
We need confirmation
rode him
game
all year.
on the last name pronunciation.
And we're going to give KJ the floor and let him talk about his boy.
Yeah, first of all, let's get a confirmation on how you pronounce the last name because I don't trust anything Colton says.
The announcer says Scadaboo.
Yeah, I call him Scadaboo.
Okay.
It might be Scadaboo. I don't know.
I haven't heard anything other than Scadaboo.
Okay. I thought you were saying it different.
Colton named this man the DWB, and that's because he's a dirty white boy. This man has ran through people all year, and Arizona State.
He's about this tall, too.
Arizona State has been a one-dimensional football team. They got a decent pass game, but their best wide receiver got hurt.
Yep.
Nobody expected them to come into this game and compete. Cam Scadaboo.
Here we go.
What I say?
This man, I will give him all the flowers in the world. I've rode him all year.
Yeah, you have.
All year.
Yeah. You hammered in on him?
God.
Who's taller?
Who? Probably him. I think he's a lot bigger. He runs a lot harder.
He's thick. That boy thick.
That man got hit in the head one too many times. I can tell you that.
Well.
That man can run, catch,
and
pass.
He can throw. And he can throw.
I mean, what does he come? He come up with almost 250 yards.
And
total?
I think he puked 12 times on the sideline throughout the game too.
Yep.
This might.
And he was on his phone during the fourth quarter. I seen a clip where he was just casually on his phone in the fourth quarter.
This is one of the first
illegal.
fourth quarters he's played in. Had a legit fourth quarter play in. Pretty much almost all year. He is wore out. Cammy boy. Give it to him.
Get this man.
Give it to him, man.
I got a lot of respect. More than flowers.
I got a lot of respect for him, man.
It was fun to watch.
It's nice to see a white running back
outside of Christian McCaffrey
do their thing. We're taking over.
It's almost remember Toby Gerhart from Stanford a few years ago? Was it Stanford?
Yes.
Before Christian McCaffrey? Yeah. Yeah. No, it's Bo Scadaboo, he's upped his draft stock this last month and a half.
Oh, he's rose, man. That's my boy.
Yeah. Even
he said he wants to be a chief.
Huh?
Of course he does.
Well, why wouldn't you? You sit on the bench, get a ring.
Yeah. He said
That's very true.
He said he wants to be a chief.
But no, Arizona put up a fight and they took the lead with a couple minutes to go in the game. Yeah. Gave up a 4th and goal from the 20.
Dude, that was a beautiful play call.
Was it to send it to overtime or in overtime?
To overtime.
To send it to overtime.
Yeah, that was a beautiful play call. Golden had a heck of a catch.
So open.
Yeah, Golden had a heck of a catch.
I was kind of upset. I was rooting for Arizona State. When they came back, I was like, oh, here we go.
Yeah.
I bet on Texas, as soon as Arizona State scored the game, tied it up.
You text me.
I put 250 on Texas money line because they gave it to me almost 1-for-1.
Yeah.
It was wild that I did not take Arizona State and I thought they were going to make me pay. There's one reason why I didn't have to pay that money. And it's because that targeting call got reversed. That turns into Arizona State driving down with under a minute left. That 15 yards takes them 1st and 10 on the other side of the 50. And all they need is a field goal. It's a tie ball game.
Yeah.
And let's just talk about one thing. Auburn didn't make it to a bowl game. They didn't make it to the playoffs, and he damn sure didn't come through in the playoffs.
No.
Auburn don't belong there.
Dude, and what
talking about the court?
I'm talking about the word in general.
So what made that whole sequence worse is that the camera got like a cinematic close up of Sark and
Oh yeah.
Auburn talking before he went out there. And they're all smiling,
because he just
giggling.
missed the last one.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's giving him a pep talk, and then he goes out there and shanks the
it.
next one. It's
You
like
got-
this was
and
the
you
most, the worst pep talk
You gotta give
ever.
him
He had
flowers.
missed a couple big kicks earlier in the throughout the season too. You know,
You gotta
His
give him
last
his
name's
flowers,
Auburn.
though. He made adjustments. He missed the first one wide right. He just hooked the second one wide left.
that thing was not going right that next time.
look there.
Wasn't going
It's
through
like a
either.
golf shot.
Did y'all see what Nick Saban said yesterday? He came on the show, or whatever, and got talking. They got talking about that.
Not this show.
I didn't say this show.
I know
said,
you just said the show.
Yeah,
What'd he say?
his show. Said he's like, yeah, I learned early on in my career, you know, that I just leave him alone. Like I don't talk to him before any kick, especially a big one, because I don't want them to think that I'm scared or to scare them. Pretty much, like it's just a normal kick because I don't want to be the reason, you know, that they blow it.
No, he was making damn sure that ball wasn't going right.
Well, I
that
tell
next
you
time.
what, whatever Nick Saban did for our kickers didn't work very well because we went to a period where we didn't have one for a long time.
Yeah,
We had Platypus as one, Stover is another,
I remember
Tiffin.
Yeah, I remember Tiffin. I remember
Is Tiffin the one that received death threats?
no.
Think
That was very early in his
Papanastus, Platypus, whoever it was.
that one.
Maybe.
There was Christensen. No, the one that received death threats was like 5 or 6 years ago.
He missed like 3 in the same game.
Yeah,
And what game was that? It was a huge
or like
game.
4 years. I
don't know.
4 years ago. Yeah,
I just remember Reichert. Goat.
All I know is everybody's bracket besides Colton's about got demolished.
No, mine's pretty.
Colton's-
Mine's pretty much in flames.
yeah. Colton's is done.
He was
Because
the only one it took Arizona State to win that
so
football game.
Yours and mine are
Going-
better than his.
Fast
Now.
forwarding to the Final Four, my Final Four,
Don't even.
and
lie.
we did this before the playoffs even started. My Final Four, I had Arizona State and Oregon, and Boise State and Georgia, with Oregon and Georgia in the Natty.
Holy,
So-
so you're 0 for 4.
Oh, I'm
Total.
I'm the
Yeah.
complete opposite.
Ouch.
Yeah, y'all go ahead. I'll let y'all have it.
Yep. So I'm Texas, Ohio State, Boise State, and Georgia for my Final Four, and then I had Texas and Boise State in the Natty.
Oh, so you're betting 500 right now.
Yeah.
Well, my Final Four is perfection. My Final 2 might not be, but my Final 4 is perfection. I got Texas versus Ohio State. Texas winning that football game. Then I got Penn State versus Notre Dame. Notre Dame winning that game.
So you got Notre Dame and Texas,
Texas.
in the Natty
I need Ohio State and Notre Dame.
for your pockets.
Yes,
Okay.
but to save face.
He
I'll tell
owes
you
some
what,
bad man a lot
We
of
need
money.
we need the SEC to show out because they ain't done it the rest of this playoff.
No, well, Ole Miss kind of helped us out a little bit last night.
Yeah. Thanks, Lane.
Lee Tiffin. Lane Kiffin made the most perfect comment going into the fourth quarter last night. The reporter was asking him, about Jackson Dart and how he's meant to the team, blah, blah, blah. And Lane was like, he's been incredible for us. The lady asked, how much would it take for him to come back? He goes, we're working on it. Lane being Lane. He's the biggest troll on the internet. But then he went on to say, we're just trying to see how we match up against the ACC, and kind of like did one of those walkaways from the camera. It's like, oh, that was a shot at Indiana, SMU, Clemson, like all those teams that got in over, Bama, South Carolina, Ole Miss. Like that was a super shot, and they ended up winning by 32 points against Duke last night.
He's the only one that can say anything because the rest of us sucked.
Thank God Ole Miss played Duke without their starting quarterback.
who just transferred to Oregon State?
It's a good thing because
Malik Murphy, who was at Texas. the year
Illinois
before.
is out here taunting South Carolina as they beat them, and Bama just being Bama this year.
Yeah,
even
so
do it.
we'll just dive right into that. So we kind of had our final thoughts. Me and you did several episodes ago about how we thought, DeBoer
This is
did.
our last episode before the new year.
Maybe.
If I see one more thing about Saban's first year and DeBoer's first year,
Yeah, it's
if I see
uncomparable.
one more thing about that, I'm gonna light somebody on fire.
it's incomparable. So I took
Check your phone.
a screenshot
over
of
there
a
for a
couple
reason.
I
things
thought to text you.
because throughout the year I was still on the the Milroe train. I was heavily invested. I know a lot of Bama fans were. A lot of Bama fans were like, get him the hell out. Like, give us something else. But I saw this thing, and Milroe ended his career undefeated against LSU, undefeated against Auburn, undefeated against Georgia, which are three, like, got to beat those guys, especially Auburn. SEC champion, SEC MVP, broke the Alabama record for most rushing touchdowns in a single season, and the William V. Campbell Trophy Award winner. So, as bad as he played, and this year, I think it sucks because it's hard to realize he did that with is how bad he played. And he capped it off with a very bad game against Michigan last week.
He's the reason why we lost. Not as a team. Not that we did not lose games as a team. He solely is the reason why we lost 2, if not really. I mean, we've lost 4 games now, including the Michigan game. He's the reason why we lost 3 of the 4 games, 100%. You can really make a case for all 4.
How many times did we hand the football off during those games?
I'll tell you what, we didn't hand it off till like the third quarter the other day.
Let me tell you.
That was pissing me off.
Let me tell you whose fault it was on why Milroe had this bad season. Yes, he made some bad decisions, which he did last year.
Yeah.
Why did we go to the playoffs last year? Because of Jalen Milroe. If it wasn't for him last year, we don't go.
You're right.
Yeah.
With that
This
beautiful
year-
throw.
Yeah.
This year, it's still the same Jalen. We didn't hand the football off at all. So what's the defense going to do? Going to drop back in zone and drop 8 and like not even worry about the box?
Tell you
The only
what.
person you got to spy is him.
Yep.
He made his bread and butter on the run in the football when plays broke down. I agree he deserves a lot of like QB-centric draw plays.
Yes.
I agree
Yes.
with that.
Yes.
But I don't agree that he should be our number 1 runner
No.
in carries.
Yeah.
If plays break down, that's
off.
where he's the most effective.
Yeah.
Jalen Milroe did not have an offensive coordinator nor a head coach that used him effectively and ran our offense.
Didn't
that
set him up for
works
success.
around what Milroe can do, because that deep ball,
Is one of the best in the country.
it is when he's not throwing it 30 times a game.
Yeah.
It's when he is in like on time.
Yeah.
And you don't
Those
get on,
passes still got to be set up too.
Yeah,
they got to
well-
be set up, but he can't hit the intermediate throws because he can't hold his water long enough to wait till they get open. If it's not a go ball or a deep post, he's kind of useless everywhere
well, it's
else.
hard to hit the intermediate throws when the intermediates were all like all of your people that are like showing blitz
Yeah.
are backing off to because they ain't got to worry about the
Yeah.
running backs in the backfield.
No.
And it ain't because our running backs wasn't two-headed monster.
No, and
Because they didn't have to worry about them actually handing the football off.
and for this bowl game against Michigan, like, yeah, as bad as the weather was to start the game, like that's when you turn and hand the ball off. We were still trying to throw it.
Let's talk about that for a minute because
Excuse me, Lane, what is Nick Saban? What is his famous thing on the sideline to Lane Kiffin? Run the damn ball.
Yeah.
let's talk about this game because the broadcast booth touched on it about the fact that
cleats.
the cleats
Yeah.
were an issue and
Is
that
this why
we
you sent that text?
and
Yeah.
that they may not have the right spikes. And I, again, had brought that up during the Oklahoma-Bama game.
No. There we go. I'm throwing up my bullshit meter.
I did. You can go back and watch the
No.
video.
I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about like for the guys not having the right stuff like
I mean, yeah, you got to
ready for
Yeah,
the
You got to
team.
make excuses somewhere.
It's not an excuse. That's a real thing. If they didn't have the right spikes, that's freaking ridiculous. I mean, our guys were slipping and sliding everywhere until the second half. Obviously, we got new spikes. Their team wasn't.
What's bad though is like so being an equipment manager, like you have spare shoes. Like you when we travel on the road, you have your team put all your cleats in there.
Yep.
Especially if you know there's gonna be bad weather, you pack everything. More
the
gloves, cleats, socks, you pack the entire thing. So when they walk out of the tunnel for pregame, don't they see that dark ass cloud like right there?
That's what I'm saying. Like, whoever our equipment manager is probably not very good at his job.
Like you gotta know because Michigan was not slipping.
No.
At all.
No, they had longer spikes.
I mean, you know,
Maybe they wouldn't be
you know
able to
what
run
the
as fast.
spikes didn't have to do with
What?
Milroe throwing interceptions.
Well, oh, by the way, we're still doing that 30-yard pass across the field for a 2-yard gain.
Yeah.
We tried that against Oklahoma. It was a pick six.
So yeah, let's just I'm not. I don't even want to talk about the whole.
I'll tell you what, though. We'll go on the bright side. Our defense, outstanding. And statistically, this is the best defense we've had since 17.
Our defense, are you talking about for the year?
Yeah. Well, they played lights out against Michigan, too.
I was about to say, Michigan don't have a quarterback that can throw the football forward.
No.
I mean, it's pretty much all you do is just stack the box.
But it must be fun watching the team hand it off 25, 30 times.
Yeah, I'm sure it is when you're on that sideline.
Yeah, you're not going to get it on Alabama's
If
sideline.
I'm not mistaken, Haynes is predicted to go where?
He's going to Michigan.
Why do you think that is?
Because
He's a running back.
yeah.
Guess what he didn't get at Alabama?
Running.
bitches.
He's got fresh legs.
He ain't getting no use out of him this year, that's for sure.
No, he's going to have fresh legs. So, yeah, the Bama still got some work to do in the portal. There was a couple of receivers that left again after the game. I forgot their names already, but two
Who's
more
going to be our
receivers.
quarterback? Please don't say Ty Simpson.
You know what?
That man sat and waited. I get it. Respect. Cool. But
It should be his job to lose.
Give me Keelan Russell.
I agree.
I don't care who it is. It should be Ty Simpson's to lose. If the other guys are better, great. Start them
The thing
and let
is,
them
though-
ball out. It should be his lose. No other quarterback should just get it just to get it. He should have to. They have to. go
Oh,
out
yeah.
there.
Nobody should get it just to get it unless you
Yeah,
just go get
yeah.
a monster out of the portal.
But here we go. Here's my take on it. So, NFL GMs, they draft. Let's take Bryce Young for instance. Okay, they drafted Bryce Young a couple years ago. A year later, a new GM comes in. Okay, Bryce Young wasn't the guy he drafted. All right, Ty Simpson's not the guy that DeBoer got to Bama. Austin Mack and Keelan Russell are. So
you can't throw them out there in the teeth of SEC schedule.
Keelan?
I mean, either one of them.
yeah,
Look at Nico. I mean, Nico coming in was supposed to be the biggest phenomenon.
yeah.
And
But what helped him? He had a really good running game this year.
he had a great defense. It's the only reason he was even competitive in half these games.
Yeah.
You take them old Tennessee defenses, and they're getting beat by 30 in some of these games.
Yeah.
We don't have that. And to throw some of these true freshmen, I mean, unless they're ready, which not very many come in ready, to throw them into the teeth of an Alabama offense that everybody is looking to come after, that everybody wants a piece of,
Yeah.
to throw somebody like that in when you don't have stars all across the outside to throw the football to, and you don't have an OC that likes to hand the football off. True freshman quarterback it's scary to think.
Yeah, I don't see it happening.
9-4 looks good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't expect seeing the co-defensive coordinator being the first
That made
person
zero
fired.
sense. Him and the
from the
DB
staff.
coach, but that made zero sense.
He's the same one.
I thought
He's co-defensive and
I thought it was two
DB.
separate coaches. Are you sure?
Yeah. Yeah. I definitely thought, and a lot of people were high on Nick Sheridan coming in and being the OC, but it's like, dude, you haven't watched Bama football.
I'm not a
what's made them so successful for this long?
I'm not a Dobert hater. I'm not. This year makes me believe that he wasn't who was winning those football games. This year makes me believe that Ryan Grubb is. I understand you have to have a good you have to have good coordinators to make a good head coach, but he followed him for 3 different
Everywhere.
schools,
Yeah.
and he won everywhere he went. I get he won this year.
He was at Bama for like a day.
Yeah, that hurt.
I think, I mean, he better go out and find him a real OC if he's going to come in and do this, because I think Ryan Grubb is why he is where he is. And without him, I mean, I don't even know if we even know who Coach DeBoer.
Go get AJ
DeBoer.
McCarron as your offensive coordinator.
Ty Simpson would fit with him.
Yeah.
He would understand. He would
You're dang
understand
right.
exactly like that. I mean,
You're exactly right. That's
No,
what I was
I-
going to say a little bit ago, is that I believe that this year is going to be very similar to AJ McCarron's sophomore year with him and Philip Sims when they went out and kind of competed for the first couple games until AJ ultimately won it over in the
Because
Penn State game.
McCarron was there for the early, very, very successful years.
the game's changed since then, though. Unless you have a Joe Burrow, unless you have a big dog that can sit back there and dish the pill around, that can control the game,
Take a couple hits.
sitting back and just being a pocket passer makes you so easy to defend
Yeah.
from that aspect of it. Now, like, you can still scheme up, run plays, short plays, have wide receivers on the outside. But, like, I don't know if we have that.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what to expect of the Bama football program going forward. The fall off that happened so quick is unbelievable.
My underhit.
I don't know.
Roll Tide.
Like I've told you all year, I don't know that DeBoer is the guy. I'm sure he's a great football coach. I also believe, too, Ron Grove is probably a big part of his success. But when it comes to his personality, I don't believe that he has the right personality fit to be the head coach currently of the University of Alabama.
I mean, I think it's gonna be a culture shock. I mean, you think about it. You look at Lane Kiffin and DeBoer, whatever, is somewhat
He
of
ain't
the
the bear.
same. No, he's not. But are somewhat of the same. You know, they have their different like tendencies. But like as far as like the just energetic and like the personality, the smiling goes, everybody wanted Lane Kiffin. I mean, it's just
But he's shown us what he can do.
Yeah. He's willing to take the risk. He's willing to take the risk. He's willing to run the ball for one. I mean, he took our defensive coordinator and made him look like a superstar this year.
Golden.
Yeah.
What about old Bill O'Brien? Everybody calling for his head.
Yeah.
Man, went to Boston College.
Yep.
Tore it up. We all thought that FSU game was a big game.
I also saw a quote that somebody dug up from the grave saying that Bill O'Brien was saying that Jalen Monroe's not a quarterback.
Just needs to play running back. That's what.
Well, yeah, he's not a quarterback.
Well,
I mean, when
let
you
Ty Simpson hand it off to him.
when you have that talent, like you can look at Jalen Monroe as like an old Ohio State Braxton Miller.
Yeah, that's what's most frustrating for me with Monroe is that I know he has
he's shown
all of those capabilities, and it's not happening.
He's shown it.
I know that he can.
He's shown it throughout the year.
No, I'm talking about like what Braxton Miller did at Ohio State, where he swapped positions.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that you have to do that, but you don't have to limit yourself to Jalen Monroe being your quarterback.
Yeah.
You can run if you're not going to run the football. Like if you don't even run the football, if you're not going to use your two-headed monster in the backfield, why don't you line him up in the backfield with say a Ty Simpson? And how many different plays can you run off of that? You want to talk about the double pass?
Yeah.
I mean, you have nobody coming after that bubble screen. Nobody's coming downhill because if you got two go routes, I mean, you can't tell me Monroe can't make that throw.
And then, well, if the coverage is good, he can take off and run it.
I understand Alabama's not trickery. I understand, we're supposed to be a smash mouth, run it down your throat, bully ball football.
Not this year.
But, like, if you're not going to use your running backs.
And we have good running backs. We don't know that they're good, but we know they're good.
Yeah.
We just didn't get the chance to see it.
You can use different packages, especially when Milroe's struggling.
That's what frustrates me.
How do you not have
we never
any
even
other-
tried anything else.
I mean, look at
we never tried.
the South Florida game last year. We pulled Milroe. Took him out. See you, bud.
Quickly.
I mean, he ain't even play in that game, I don't think.
No,
I
he
think
did
we
not.
started Tyler Buckner.
Yep.
And-
Who said I'm a lacrosse player after the game?
Hey, I'm pretty sure he went and won a national championship.
Yeah.
Notre
After
Dame.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Went back. Yep.
But, I mean, there's so many different ways, and I understand you don't want to get too cute. You don't want to start being like a trick play mastery. But, like, if he's not doing a job, if he is struggling, you got to find a spark.
Yeah.
And
we never even tried. We just kept leaning into him.
he's the best athlete on the field. Does he belong on the field? Absolutely.
Yes.
Does he have to be your quarterback? Absolutely not. But I would take Jalen Milroe over almost anybody in the country right now. Today, I would have taken him last week. I'd have taken him against
That's the thing,
Michigan.
because it's a coin flip. You're when he shows up, you're like, I'm hoping I get the best version of Jalen Milroe. I said vest, yes.
Take Jalen Milroe to Ohio State this year
Balls out.
with Chip Kelly. Take him.
No.
That man goes
Oh,
1-2 overall in the draft.
no doubt.
No doubt.
Yeah.
It's not always the player. His decision making has a lot to do with it. But what we didn't do is take that decision out of his hands. We didn't hand the football off.
Yeah, we didn't make it easier for him.
No. And like when you're always under pressure, when you're rattled, that's what handing the football off does.
Yep.
Is it takes a lot of that pressure off of you, especially
It gives you a little bit more time later on.
And the few times
Yes.
we did it well, and then we went away from
Tell
it.
you what, Bernardo
What game
Williams.
was it? Was it Auburn? Was that the game that we
Yeah,
finally started handing the football
we had
off?
almost 40 rushing attempts with our running backs.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know Bernard and Williams were not too happy with Milroe's performance against Michigan.
They were very upset with him.
Can you blame him?
But yeah, guys, that's going to wrap it up for this video. The Final Four with Texas, Ohio State, Penn State, Notre Dame. I don't know which game's happening next Thursday.
I think Notre Dame and
Penn State
on the 9th.
So we will have another episode next Wednesday. Will be the 8th. We will do a look ahead to the Final Four games that will be going on. Probably heard The Last of Us talking about Alabama for the year. So thank you. Finally, we're done with Alabama football.
I don't care who wins Texas, Ohio State. We need Notre Dame to win because nobody wants to see Ohio State, Penn State.
No one wants that.
We don't. But guys, again, thank you for following along, and we will catch you in the next episode.
Yeah.
See you.